Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys one more method and kind of trick to resizing ads. In order to do this, it's not so much of a skill, is just you got to understand how pages are broken down for advertising. So it's all based off of a full page. So we have a full page. And then from there, they can break this page up into any number of ways. That's a full page. They could break it in half to a half page vertical, or they could break it up into a half page horizontal, or they can break it up into a quarter page, or they can even break this up even further into an eighth of a page. But it's all going to be broken up in these kind of squares. And so again, with resizing, they may say to themselves, hey, we're going to now take this and we're resizing it, and we're going to go with the smallest ad we can. We're going to go with one of these quarter page ads. Well, it's an easy way to resize it, but then there's something that you got to do after. So let's shoot this down a little so you can see. So this is our quarter page ad. Of course, first thing I'm going to do is go to my margins and columns. Again, take this down to about a quarter of an inch rather. And so this is one of those quarter page squares that you're seeing. So what we're going to do is we're going to unlock everything. I'm going to select every single thing. And now I'm going to group it. So it's now one big group. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go to here and I'm going to paste it. And I have one big ad. However, since this is a quarter page of a full page ad, that means proportionately it'll fit down to my quarter page. So if I just use my scale tool, that's why I grouped everything, I can scale it down to fit a quarter page ad. And there we go. Now, there's a couple of other things here. One, best practices would be we would take this, we're going to click it all. I still got a little space up here, so I'm going to scale it a little bit more. Like so. Best practices is, well, first we would ungroup it, and like I said, best practices would be we would put this all on multiple layers like we've done before, but at least it's proportionately sized that it'll fit. Now, one other thing that we have to do here is, this is kind of critical, when you're scaling things down like this, you have to pay attention to the point size that your text gets. So I've highlighted this, and it's 10 points. It looks big on your screen, but the reality of it is that ideally you don't want text to get smaller than 8 points. Anything smaller than 8 points, it's like the tiny copy on a coupon. They really don't want you to read that. So that's why it becomes so small. So like if I highlight in here, I can see that the text is, wow, that's 5 points. So I've got to size that up to at least 8 points. That means I've got to do a little rearranging of things to make sure that nothing gets crowded, and the bare minimum, the smallest copy is 8 points in size. So we'll go to this guy. Yeah, he's 5 points, so he's got to be 8 points too. Let's see what this guy is. Yeah, he's about 6 points, so I got to make sure he's 8 points. And so you can see that it's kind of shifted a little, so we're going to ungroup it. Whoops. So we're going to select him and we're going to ungroup him. And I may have to take this down a little because it's getting really tight up in here. So I'm going to move him up a little bit so I can see how big he's got to go. And then I'm going to scale this. Just a little, so I can get some room in there. And there we go. Now that's my quarter page ad. So the key takeaway from this is the real quick trick to getting everything into your quarter page ad or smaller version of your ad. If it were your half page horizontal going into an eighth page horizontal, same kind of trick will work. But the key takeaway is taking that text that is small after you've scaled it and making sure that at bare minimum it becomes 8 points in size. So you really don't want text smaller than 8 points because it gets harder to read. But that's the final resizing technique in layout design.